Hi, this is my new student dialogue. I went to the dialogue. Is it's your choice or is it not? Religious preference or of the queer community. In in our class, we discussed our religious beliefs and uh, some of the things we've been through in our religious beliefs and what we've seen done to the queer community in our lifetime, whether it be uh, hate crimes or just the way that people act towards them. In our in our we had a good discussion in our class. Everyone was real open and felt free to talk about the things that came up, and our leaders did a good job of from being helping us through talking and getting us to open up to each other and discuss the uh, questions and conflicts that may have come about in our dialogue. Uh, our dialogue was larger than the normal ones because they were it was a later one, so people were coming in late, and we had about 40 students as opposed to 25 to the normal. So not everyone was comfortable opening up around that many people, but we still had for the size class we had, we still had a good conversation, and we covered all the topics that we need to. We started off by doing an icebreaker where we said our name, what our major was, where we were from, and what year we were, and then something about ourselves that was unique or that we like to do, and then you would chain up to someone that was that you had something in common with until we had gone around the room and we had chained up in a big circle, and then from there we uh, got in a big circle and we were discussing, like, we got a little wagon wheel where we it had our where you put your age, your ethnicity, race, gender, all that, and then we you filled that out, and then we went over uh, which one of those we thought about the most, and then we paired up with another person and discussed whether or not we thought about the same things or not. After that, we broke up into, or we got back in our big group circle and discussed that a little bit. Then we all stood up in the middle of the room, and our leaders read us some questions, and we walked to one side of the room saying we agreed, and one side saying we didn't agree. Most of the questions had to do with our religious beliefs, where they came from, uh, and where we were at now with our religious beliefs, and then they also had to do with uh, how we felt about the queer community, and uh, if we had seen any, if how we felt personally about it, whether we agreed with it, disagreed with it, whether we agreed with what our religion believed about it, and then after that we sat down and we discussed those questions further and discussed whether or not we had actually experienced, like, hate crimes through one of it, where, like, one guy said he had a friend that was gay that was in a gang, and ended up the gang that he was in found out about it, and he was later killed for being gay. And some of the stuff that we heard in the dialogue was mind-boggling, and it kind of opens your mind to the what actually goes on in the world that not everyone has experienced. And there was many different views on the of from the on the point of the queer community and on the point of religion, and people made good points about everything, and it was just a good experience overall. And I think it's a good idea to keep doing these student dialogues, and uh, the topics of them are good topics that they're good conversation starters when you're in a group, because everyone kind of has a common ground, or some sort of feeling towards the topics that we discussed in our new student dialogue.